I have to ask you, I mean, there were reports today that the Justice Department has launched a criminal investigation into real estate transactions that you're involved with. I'm not validating that in any way, but I wanted to just ask you if you've received a formal notice of that at this point.
No, not at all. These allegations, Jen, are baseless. They have been discredited, refuted. There was a letter that was prepared by my attorney that was sent to Pam Bondi, the United States Attorney General. And it's unfortunate that President Trump publicly attacked me a few days ago. And as a result of that, he telegraphed to the Department of Justice and to FBI that I should be targeted.
I got some bad news for Tish because a grand jury has now issued subpoenas related to her alleged mortgage fraud. FBI Director Kash Patel drops a bombshell on liberals, and Senator John Kennedy pushes to have everything about Jeffrey Epstein released publicly. New York AG Letitia James was heckled at a recent town hall, and I want you to notice how she addressed it because she gave the exact same line she did with Jen Psaki.
Yes, my question is for Tish James. Will you apologize to President Trump for wasting millions of dollars and the state of New York for a witch trial? And how does it feel to know that you will be in prison for mortgage fraud?
Thank you for coming. We want to thank him for coming. We respect all opinions. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless. They're discredited. And so we want to thank him.
Now, again, she says that these allegations are baseless and have been discredited. Now, first off, discredited by who? And if they're baseless, then why would the FBI even bother to investigate her? Because she wants us to think that this is like the revenge tour of President Trump. That's complete BS. That she's being politically targeted because of her previous legal battle with the president. But that really couldn't be any further from the truth. Now, I'm gonna give you guys the facts, and this is something that she doesn't want you to know about. So imagine this, right? It's a year from now, you're saving hundreds of dollars a year on Medicare, your doctors are covered, your benefits are better, all because you made one quick call to Chapter. Julie in Kansas, she did. She's now saving $400 a year. Jamie in Texas, she's saving $600 more in her Social Security check. Check this out, guys. Chapter exists because their founders watched their own parents get bad advice and they swore it would not happen to anyone else. So they started Chapter, and now they're helping everyone, literally everyone who calls them up for free. And their help, it is completely of no cost to you whatsoever. So give them a call right now. Their phone number is 909-563-8279, or you can visit them on the web at askchapter.org/Ron and make that future your reality, guys. Now, it was the Federal Housing Finance Agency who raised this particular issue, citing that there were discrepancies with Letitia James's mortgage documents from 2023. Their director, William J. Pulte, also called out James for falsely stating the number of units in her Brooklyn residence in 2021. She also listed her dad, her own father, as her husband when she purchased a different property in 1983 and in 2000. So the FHFA is alleging that Letitia James committed wire, mail, and bank fraud, as well as false statements to a financial institution. It wasn't President Trump that called for an investigation. It was her own doing. Now, I want you to listen to how she's addressing these allegations, saying that the rule of law is on her side.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Now, as inspiring as that might be, it's the evidence that will ultimately decide her fate. There's also more bad news for her as a grand jury is issuing subpoenas in Virginia. Now, I want you to understand why she keeps saying that she is in this together with the people of New York. That's because taxpayers are expected to pay for her legal fees.
Hi, good morning. And we are hearing from several different reports now that a grand jury is issuing subpoenas in Virginia. And this comes as both the Department of Justice and the FBI reportedly are opening criminal probes into New York Democratic Attorney General Letitia James. And this is regarding a variety of allegations spanning several decades now. In this case, let's focus on Virginia. New York's AG accused of misrepresenting a property in Brooklyn as well to secure better loan terms. She is also accused of fraudulently claiming a home in Virginia as her primary residence. Meantime, Republicans expressing outrage that taxpayers may end up footing the bill for James's eventual legal fees here. State legislators crafting a $10 million criminal defense fund in must-pass budget bills, critics slamming it as a so-called slush fund. Now, we know New York Representative Elise Stefanik, a top House Republican, a leading potential contender in the New York governor's race, is also going to town on this one and saying this is extremely hypocritical. Now, she posted a lengthy explanation to X with her concerns about Letitia James and her actions against then candidate Donald Trump. She says this in part: these serious allegations falsifying records to secure favorable loan terms on properties in Virginia and New York threaten public trust in our institutions. The hypocrisy is staggering. Tish James allegedly committed the same crime that she falsely and illegally prosecuted President Donald Trump for.
Now, President Trump has made it very clear that he's not getting in the way of these investigations, although he did share what he thought about the Attorney General.
I can say, unrelated to that, she's a disaster for New York. She's a horrible, horrible human being. And I think she's a total crook. There's no question about it. But that's just my opinion. Pam's going to have to do what she wants. She's a very bad person. She's a very, very bad person who campaigned solely on, I'm going to get Donald Trump over and over again. She's a sick person. But that has nothing to do with what Pam does. Pam is going to do what's right. She always does. I've known her a long time.
Urgent warning, guys. The job market is collapsing. The economy is shrinking fast. Layoffs are skyrocketing. The Trump tariffs are already shaking industries. The media won't tell you this, but most high-paying jobs, they're disappearing. And the ones that do remain, they're soon going to be out of reach. But here's the good news, guys. I've put together a list of 30 plus jobs that pay around $100,000 per year without a degree. These are recession-proof jobs, and some are even set to explode in demand thanks to this economic shakeup. No college degree required, no student debt, just real jobs that pay. But I promise, guys, this list is not going to be available forever. So get it right now. Get it before these jobs are flooded by the competition. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down below so you can get your free list of the 30 plus jobs that pay over $100,000 without a college degree. So download this list before it's too late. From Letitia James, let's go ahead and switch on over to FBI Director Kash Patel. So Kash Patel has made multiple promises to the American people before placing or being placed on the FBI, one of which is related to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, before we get to what he said about him, I want to talk about his exchange with Congresswoman Madeleine Dean. It looked as if Dean had him in a trap, in a sort of a gotcha moment where Patel couldn't really do anything. But what happened next was actually just kind of amazing because he clearly put him in an awkward situation.
I was an impeachment manager for President Trump's second impeachment. It was a sad, solemn duty. And so I wanted to ask you about that. Mr. Patel, as you and the President continue to weaponize and investigate his perceived enemies, as you follow this blueprint, when can I, a former impeachment manager, expect the FBI at my door?
Ma'am, you want to know who was targeted by a weaponized FBI? Me. You want to know how and why?
Well,
you want to know what I'm doing to fix it?
That. Let me move on.
Well, you should read the book because there's no enemies list on that book.
So
there are people that violated their constitutional obligations and their duties to the American people,
good.
And they were rightly called out. And you should give that book to every one of your constituents so they can read about it.
I won't be doing that.
That's their loss.
During your Senate confirmation hearings, You repeatedly denied having any involvement as a private citizen in the firing of FBI officials who engaged in the prosecution against January 6 insurrectionists, the violent rioters who beat and killed Capitol police officers, and whom you referred to as political prisoners. Since then, multiple whistleblowers have come forward, and we know that you likely committed perjury. At the same hearing, you claimed you were not familiar with Stu Peters, an anti-Semitic Holocaust denier, despite the fact that you appeared on Mr. Peters' podcast 8 separate times. 8 times. And you claimed not to recall. Mr. Patel, my second question is, should we worry more about your memory or your veracity?
We should worry more about your lack of candor. You're accusing me of committing perjury. Tell the American people how I broke the law and committed a felony. Have the audacity to actually put the facts forward instead of lying for political banter so you can have a 20-second donation hit.
The answer is both. I believe that
the answer is you're failing, not me.
He's not messing around. He's also calling out Democrats for attempting to collect donations from supporters by attacking him in a hearing. Now, I want to pivot here to the Epstein List because Senator John Kennedy asked Kash Patel directly about this. This is one of Kash Patel's promises, with him saying he'll get the list out to the public. This is something that clearly hasn't happened yet.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Now, we can understand that the FBI is working on thousands of pieces of evidence here. At least that's what Pam Bondi has already confirmed. But having Senator Kennedy ask if these files will be released within his lifetime wasn't a joke. It's a call for urgency. They need to make good on that promise because it's part of the reason why they were picked for their positions. But what do you guys think about this? Will we ever see the information that's been hidden behind these closed doors when it comes to Epstein? Now, shifting gears here for a moment, I want to redirect you to a recent video I released. I talked about how mainstream media is trying its very best to dehumanize violent terrorists, as well as a historic executive order from President Trump. Make sure you guys check that out. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next time. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.